Hello everyone, this is Brian with Depersonalization Help. Just here to give a quick follow-up to my last video and once again offer some encouragement to those who are going through what I once went through. Before we start with that, I would like to thank everyone for their positive comments, likes, and support on my last video. I hope it will continue to be a great help to many people, or at least to one more person. And I suggest you watch it first if you haven't seen it yet, because there's a lot of information there that I do truly think is important. Alright, now to continue with the main message of the video. This is going to be a video with a lot of tough love, so if you're not feeling up to being challenged in your beliefs, questioned for your attitudes on recovery, or otherwise being told something you might disagree with, then I suggest you watch someone else's video. This is my opinion, and this is what I think is important. So, with that in mind, you're most likely not special. You are not the first person to think they're going schizophrenic. You are not the first person to get this from acid, weed, shrooms, edibles, failing a test and freaking out about it, a lack of sleep, a bad breakup, whatever. You are not the first person to go through this, nor will you be the last. You don't have cancer, Lyme disease, heart failure, irreparable brain damage. There's not drug particles that will exist in you forever that are causing this. You are not schizophrenic, and you are not having a panic attack that has suddenly altered reality in some unfixable way. You are just anxious. You have anxiety. You have probably gone to the doctor, and maybe they said the same thing. They said, you're anxious, but you're okay. There's nothing physically wrong with you. Maybe you went to multiple doctors. Your tests have most likely come back negative for whatever ridiculous disease you think you have, and it's not because you need more testing or your doctor doesn't know what they're talking about and there's some idiots who need to learn more about medicine. It's because, for the most part, this disorder of anxiety, it won't show up on these physical and chemical exams. Now, the only thing I will say against modern medical practice is I wish that more medical professionals did understand the trends in epidemiology behind DPDR. I think some of the scariest times for me were when I had no idea what was wrong with me and why I was so scared. Why did I feel so strange? The doctors and psychologists said I just had anxiety, and honestly they were right. But without a way to understand why this anxiety is literally making me feel like I'm going to disappear off this planet, I turned to the internet. This led to a lot of hypochondria and spiraling into online medical research that made me worry even more. Poring over forum posts or YouTube videos or any kind of online content for dozens of diseases and disorders that you don't even have, and researching your individual symptoms over and over again looking for that miraculous cure is not helping you. It's going to make you worse. You're going to think you have way more things you never even heard about before. However, once you finally do stumble upon a video or article about DPDR, or maybe a medical professional does correctly diagnose you, you recognize that you do have this disorder. You feel almost a sense of relief knowing other people have it too, and seeing that big list of symptoms that are oh so familiar, and realizing you might not be schizophrenic after all. So, you turn to the stage where most of you are probably at right now. You think you have DPDR, but maybe you're not sure. Why can't someone just prove it to you? How can you know it isn't all those scary things you read about? Why does it still feel so bad? Even though you understand why it's just anxiety, why can't you just let it go? When will this go away? Why did this guy have it so much better or so much worse? To that I say, everyone is unique. I spent so many months of my life in terror. Some people spent days, and they were okay, and I wished to be like them. Others spent years, but they recovered later on, and I thought to myself, I wish I was like them too. Wow. If I knew for sure it would be gone in 3 years, I would just power through it because I know it will end. But this isn't how it works. You can't bargain with DPDR. You can't negotiate your future, and you can't be someone else. Use others as a guide, a suggestion, not a rulebook. Do not see every difference in their experience as a reason for why you can't recover. Stop asking people if they have the same symptoms you did. Ask enough people and the answer is yes. Ask a specific person, and once they say no, all you think is, this is why I can't recover. If only my vision was okay like her, I would get over this in a day. Or, if only I knew for sure I wasn't schizophrenic, I could ignore the rest of it. But that is just so scary for me. Stop telling yourself you need this one thing to recover. I had 41 things I needed to recover. Every time I got over one, another one came. Because it wasn't truly my top problem in life. I was just anxious and wanted something to blame. Now, maybe some of you are watching this and you're saying, oh no, you're wrong. I did have a pre-existing condition, or I did find out I had some kind of diagnosis. Maybe some of you are bipolar. You have diabetes. You got diagnosed with that tragic disease that you were worried about. You otherwise don't have a spotless medical record. To that I say, so what? Life is difficult. Maybe it will be harder for you to recover, but I've seen people with traumatic brain injuries recover from this, people with 3 or more mental disorders, including the ever so dreaded schizophrenia, and even people who claim to have just always experienced some kind of disassociation from their past traumas. I've personally spoken to these people, or I have read their stories. Some of these people had given up many times. How could they ever hope to recover with such terrible circumstances? I don't know, and hopefully we'll never know what it was like to experience some of the things I heard from them, and maybe some of the things you face right now. But many of these people did reach recovery. They didn't give up because they know that there is only one way out of this, and that is to go forward. There will be setbacks. There will be days you can't and don't want to go on. But don't let yourself believe it's impossible, because neither you, me, or anyone can truly know what is impossible. So, if you're watching this, I might be the strangest YouTuber ever by saying this, but I hope you never have to see it again. I hope one day me and this disorder are a distant memory to you. You'll remember it as an era of your life, maybe a miserable one, but you won't see it in sheer terror anymore. And maybe you will just think, how did it ever get that bad? I believe in you. I really do. I've seen worse. You will be okay. Trust me.